I bought a 2023 Kawasaki Mule 4010. That's the one that can seat four if you got the bed configured short, and if you change that, you can just seat two, but you make a longer bed out of it. I got the roof and the custom worn winch, and this is a little bit about installing the worn winch. I'm pretty handy. Got a garage, got a lift, worked on cars a lot, and thought that I could save myself some money by doing this stuff. And I read through the instructions, seemed pretty straightforward, but I ran into a couple things that I thought if I kind of pointed them out, that might help somebody else speed up their install if they're doing the same kind of thing. So here you go.
I looked on the internet and could not find any good information about installing the winch. It's the VRX-25. It's got the synthetic rope, but basically it should be the same for the steel one. I found a few that talked about the wiring, but they said they did a bunch of different things to it. I pretty much put this in factory, but the instructions are not that clear. So let me start with, you're looking at this going, okay, well, I can just push that in from the front. Why do I have to take the left panel off? Well, you do, because it won't fit through the front. It won't fit underneath between the radiator and the frame. So you gotta put that in here. The bracket on mine, the holes, I had to open them up just a little bit. They did not fit. So, I did not plan on that. It took me a lot longer just to, punch those out a little bit. The wiring, looking for the hole, there is one, I don't know how well you can see it, but so if I come straight up from this, there's a hole up there that's already in the plastic. And I found that by going from the underside, taking a stick and poking it through there until I saw that pop out. I was like, okay, good, I didn't have to drill a hole for that. So yeah, I've got the left side piece off, I got the bumper off. Other than that, it was pretty straightforward up underneath here. I'll come back in a minute for the wiring. On the driver's side, there's a little hole with a plastic plug that can come off. I'm just gonna put this back on because I don't want it getting all splashed up in there. I don't think I'm gonna use that to spool it out. I'm probably just gonna power it out if I need to. So I'm gonna put that plug back in. It's really hard. You can sort of get your fingers in here and twist that control. Obviously a lot easier if you come in from the side over here to spin that. But yeah, I'm gonna put that plug back in. I don't like that idea of splashing it any more than I have to. All right, so I put that plug back in. That's what it looks like with it in there. I thought I'd just mention one note. There is I looked all through the directions and I found one note on this. There's like an abrasion sleeve, and this is for the synthetic rope specifically, but there's no list of this abrasion thing in the bill of materials, but there is one little note that says, before you put the hook on, slide this thing on. I didn't see that, and I got to the end of the kit and I'm looking at going, what's this thing for? So I had to go back through the instructions. So maybe if I mention that and save somebody doing the same thing. All right, I'm gonna try to show the hole where I put the cables through. So there's your brake pedal. I got the gas pedal still out, but it's up. Yeah, those two that come through that are tie wrapped together, look at they've got the protective sleeve on them. So there's a hole that was already there. I ran it through that and then out and down the middle. Don't try to do it without taking this off. It's not that hard. You got a couple screws. A lot of times I try to think, well, maybe I can get around that. I can't. I had to take that piece off. I took the plastic piece off the front, ran the stuff up underneath here, came everything to the battery. All right, I don't know how well you can see that, but the brown wire is what I tapped into. It actually does say that in the instructions, and it does show the connector kind of in this area under the dash. I couldn't find it very easy. There's the tie wrap, dust sitting on here. I had to cut that tie wrap and pull that harness down. It was tucked up there pretty far. I thought it was going to be a little farther over here. So it's way over to the left. And there is a power wire. It's switched power, so you don't have to cut any wires or anything. So I've got that coming up through here. I'll tie this stuff up in a bit. They recommend putting the remote connector in the side of the glove box. I went ahead and did that. I don't have the remote for it. I've just got the switch. I haven't snapped it into the dash yet, but I cut that out with a Dremel tool, and that's gonna get popped in once I get done. Inside of here, probably can't see it. Let me see if I can get a light to it. There's your connector on the side there. So, if I did buy the little remote switch, I could plug it into there. And be able to do that. So this is under the seat. They actually recommend in the directions, you just stick this thing right to the floor. I really was uncomfortable with that when you think of, I mean, everything else that you've got in here, all the electronics, the relays and everything, all that stuff is sticking up in, you know, way up high, right? So if you get water in this thing, you get it in the floorboards. I don't want the relay on the floor when that happens. So I made a bracket. It picks up whatever this canister is. It's got a couple of bolts. I popped that off, just a flat piece of aluminum, notched it out for the hose that comes out of the bottom of this, and then my relay sitting to the side. And doing that, the wires, the way I routed them, you know, just the way they recommend, they were just long enough for the ones that go over to that remote connector. The ones that go up to the winch itself, there's probably a good foot extra of cable, at least the way I routed it, so not a big deal there. And then you got the short ones that go from the relay over to the battery here, so those are pretty straightforward. I was putting the that tunnel back together, and I thought about this when I was just looking. Maybe you can see a little better how I did the relay. It's up, I don't know, 6 inches off the ground, off the floor plate. So, you know, if you do get water, like you get water in your feet, you still got another 6 inches before you sink the relay. I just figured that was better. If you look at just about everything else that's back here, it's got, you know, everything's raised up. So hopefully that helps.
I watch a lot of YouTube videos. This is the first one I've actually made and posted, so I hope it helps with somebody if they're looking for similar information for installing this on their Kawasaki Mule.